Hey everybody, and welcome back for episode 7 of Ryzom. We're back here in the Ranger camp, and we did a few things last episode. We got some things knocked out of the way. I hope you guys enjoyed that time-lapse stuff. I really thought it was kind of cool, so I'm probably going to keep doing it unless I get a bunch of comments going, no, we don't want to see that. And since I've had like 3 people watch each of these videos, I don't expect to get a bunch of any comments. But that's cool. We're going to grind on. I'm enjoying the gameplay, and it's giving me plenty of practice recording and editing. A little pan around of the camp here. So, we have completed the fight quests for the most part. We're on the last one, same as last time. We only have one of the magic quests left, which is going to be completed in tandem with the fight quest. And we're also on the next to the last, or the last crafting mission, which is to go gather some Sloveni buds and moss. So we're going to run over here and see just what the harvesting quest giver gives us. Now I understand that this is pretty structured. We've got a lot of these people giving us quests here. Once we hit mainland, a lot of that dies out, and the ones you find are certainly not as targeted. So we've got some learning to do here. That's fine. We need to get the prospection for fine materials only. So you'll remember the last time, I know this jumps around a lot, you'll get used to the different actions, but we did some prospecting once upon a time. I clicked on the action and we made little green spots similar to these back here, up here in the ground. What we're going to do now is we're going to talk to the trainer here and learn the skill to make only fine mineral deposits, fine quality, pop up. So she wanted us to get fine only. I really wish they wouldn't make you do that, because it only finds fine. And if you're looking for anything, then you got to come back here and spend another 15 points on fine and lower or fine and higher. But it doesn't matter. It's all part of the learning curve. So she's telling us that we've got that. Now we need to make our own prospecting technique. So I'm going to edit my, close this block here. I'm going to edit my action here. I'm going to add find better materials. That puts us at 20 and only 10, so I'm going to need counterpart 2 to get a balanced action again. I know that's a little odd as far as the action building process, but you catch on to it pretty quickly. We've got that out of the way now. Let's see what it is that Miss Miles or Mr. Miles here has got for us to do. Oh, she has already given it to us. Find 5 fine Serena seed of at least quality 5 and fine hash amber of the same quality. So we're going to go ahead and do some foraging and get these out of the way. And it looks like she's given us a prospection zone to get to. So we're going to rock on over that way and get to harvesting. Alright guys, we have reached the prospection zone. So we're going to go ahead and get under the way. These Ryzoms here are non-hostile or social mobs. It's kind of how they're classified, either aggro or social. That one is social, so he's not going to bother us in the least while we get some harvesting done. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the prospecting action, and we'll see what we can dredge up here. Oh, this is taking forever. There are upgrades and such that I can get through the trainer to make this not take nearly as long. And as I progress in my foraging ability, I will no doubt invest in those. But for the time being, we're just going to harvest up these materials. There's no guarantee I'll find the ones I need and the exact quantities I need, so we're going to speed on through this, throw on some beats, and Alright guys, we've managed to get all of the items we needed, and for the first time since I've been playing this game, I got the perfect quantity of each one without having to dig multiples that I didn't need. So, kudos for that. We're just going to go ahead and go back to camp here the old-fashioned way since it's like 10 feet away. Although, I gotta say, this whole getting around through the magic of video editing has been really great. I wish I could do that in-game sometimes. We're going to go ahead and grind through some of these foraging missions, just so you guys can see. I know that's the one thing I haven't done much of. I've done a fair amount of crafting, I've cast a few spells, and done plenty of fighting, but there hasn't been a lot of foraging because it's probably, in my opinion, the most grindy aspect of the game. So often it is go find this source, or, it's a little more interesting when you have to find it. But even then, to dig up whatever quantity you need, it's just repetitious. And that doesn't make for very interesting video content. And depending on what kind of mood you're in, it may or may not make for very interesting gameplay. I myself don't mind grindy games. I love Minecraft, and it's just one long grind. But we're hanging in there. I'm recording this at about 5 a.m. my time, so if you notice a bunch of French people coming across in chat down there, it's because they're all just getting out of bed. Well, not getting out of bed, I think it's like 10 a.m. over there. I'm not entirely certain without looking. Okay, so now she wants us to get the 50-meter deposit tracking. And I think I know what I need next, so if it's available, I'll go ahead and get it. 50-meter deposit tracking, we're going to need that. She's going to want us to do harmful extraction, I think. I'm going to wait on that because I don't really like the idea of it. We are going to go ahead and dump 20 points into will and dexterity just because it'll help things out. And I think, nope, maybe accelerated prospection. Yep, that is taking forever. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. And what's the range on this? There is no range. Huh. We should probably get the counterpart 3 and counterpart 2. Just in case, so apologize. I always seem to get a frog when I'm recording, so we want speed, which only costs us 5, and we'll go ahead and add tracking, which costs 10. We can go ahead and upgrade this to 3. We now get a major difficulty bonus, but that's cool. We can definitely make use of that. And the art of harvesting 4 requires us to learn how to find a deposit of raw materials. So we've gotten the 50-meter deposit skill. Okay, I got ahead of myself there because the quest text at the end of that one told me what I needed to start this one. So we've got our skill. She's going to send us off, no doubt, somewhere sort of specific. And she does make a joke here, so I'm going to read over that, and we'll talk a little bit there. So she's talking about not being able to find something when you need to find it. And her example is to imagine that you're on an enormous island, and that somewhere on the island there's a tiny, minuscule, ridiculous little source, and that you unfortunately haven't the faintest idea where it is. The first method, known as the Pharos method, which I may take offense to since I am Pharos, consists of shouting and throwing your pick into the ground and then slaughtering some unfortunate passing Yubo in order to soothe your rage. The effectiveness of this method is highly debatable. The second method, better known by the name of the method of the Haman who's lost their senses, consists of dividing the island up and prospecting every 2 meters. It's a standard method which can have results, but you need to be very patient and very motivated. And of course the third method is to use deposit tracking. So, I thought that was kind of funny, but you know, that's me. And she's going to send us out to find a fine amber, or Zune amber deposit. And she wants us to bring back a sample of it. She's given us a rough direction to go in. This is just telling me how to use deposit tracking. I'm aware, so I'm going to go ahead and just explain it once we get there. It is kind of back out where we were. I love this. You just see people sitting there chilling. And I'm not sure how they do that, because I know if you're AFK for a certain amount of time, the server will kick you off. And as far as I know, if you use any macros or something to make your character appear active, they will kick you off anyways. But we've gotten to where our prospecting zone is, and oops, we need to clear out all this clutter I just created, for one. I don't need these things in my hotbar. Why did they go there? I don't need them there. Be gone. That's the one I want. So we'll move that down here to our thing, but I really don't think I need it because I think I added it. I added raw deposit tracking. I don't know. Show this up. Yeah, that's the same. So we'll use the first one here because it's going to track for us, and what it'll do is down here at the bottom, it will give me an approximate range to the source it's detected, and if there's anything nearby, it will go ahead and prospect it for me. A deposit has been detected less than 1 meter. There are deposits in the surrounding area. Okay, so that's not going to work. It works, it just won't let me find the deposit and bring it to the surface. So we're going to go ahead and prospect now that we know it's here. I was mistaken. I thought I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone there. That is not the case. Okay, I fucked something up. What was it? What is it I did? That's okay. That's okay. Oh. I removed it, but I didn't save it. Which is all just as well, because... oh, no, we're going to keep that difficulty bonus. Oh. I had forgotten to click Learn the Action, which of course saves it, and removed, or rather, put in the changes that I wanted to make. Detect no raw materials in this area. I found some close to here, so we just need to grab onto those. I can activate this action and it will continuously track. Which we're going to do. This is probably a good example of some of the more frustrating aspects that come with the foraging class. And there are people that enjoy this very much. I'm not super keen on it. Why can I not just find some fine ambers and that's all I want? Just give me the amber. There it is. Give me all your amber. And since we're here, even though this is only quality 10, and that is the maximum quality of the source, we're going to go ahead and mark it anyways, just because this is a good thing to get the habit of as you progress through the game. Because you never know when you're going to need a material. Granted, after I finish these quests, I won't be using these Q10 mats anymore. By the way, that is just some quick MMO speak for quality 10 materials. If you're watching this video, you probably knew that. But for those of you who haven't played MMOs, or that's not your cup of tea and you're just interested in watching the video and maybe want to give this a try, you'll hear that. You'll see it in chat. You'll see Q10M or Q10 in the material name, and that just means quality whatever mats. Wow, okay, so I found some extra materials and I went ahead and marked their location but for whatever reason, I was thinking I had to find several of those Zune Ambers, and I only had to find one. And I did not realize that, mainly because I wasn't paying attention until I looked down to see how many more I needed to be able to scrounge, and discovered that it was telling me to go give one to Miles, and my compass was in fact pointing away from the prospecting zone. So there's that. I'm probably not going to speed all that up. I'm probably going to find the end of having collected that, and I will probably cut it out until I'm speaking again, because that went on to some general stupidity. Alright, she says now we're going to increase the difficulty. She's given us some explorer's leggings, but I don't think they're better than what we're wearing. Oh, nope, they are. Yeah, we'll just toss those on. Boy, our clothing is really getting to be a mishmash. Shattered Ruins 1. She wants us to use Harmful Extraction 20, but to beware of the dangers. Now, I think I mentioned once before that if you tax a resource a little too much and you go after it a bit too aggressively, it can explode. And by explode, I mean a toxic cloud forms around you, and you either have to go abandon what you're doing, or you have to just take the damage. So, she wanted us to use 20, Harmful Extraction 20. We are not going to do that. I don't use Harmful Extraction as a rule, because it depletes sources, and if you don't pay attention, you may accidentally exhaust an area and be stuck dealing with that. So what I'm going to do instead is spend the same amount of points on Gentle 10, and consequently Gentle 20, which should have appeared, and did not. I guess we'll buy Harmful 20, let's see if Gentle 20, there it is. And it cost the remainder of our points. Ain't that a bitch? Oh, okay. We don't need all these. I just wanted the actions in truth, because I'm going to build that into my default action, as I usually do. It's easier to keep track of. Let's edit this sucker. Find better. We'll leave that. Okay. Prospect. Oh, I am trying to edit a prospecting plan. I need my extraction. There we go. Okay. So we've got speed 1, the harmful version. Nothing I can do about that. Same for rate. However, I can now go to quality 20, gentle. And I don't have anything else to offer. I'm going to have to go ahead and step up the extraction counterpart. We're going to get a slight bonus from that. So the 3 materials she has sent us to find are back over at the ruins of Ceylon, and there are a few other things we need to accomplish there. Secrets of Ceylon is probably the quest we'll do in tandem here, because it's going to be slaughtering a bunch of Sloveni. So we're going to head over that way. I'm going to get properly equipped on the way over there, and we'll see you when we get there. Just real quick, I have run around this a whole bunch of times, and I'm sure some of you are wondering why. There are some material sources in there, and there's some good stuff to be prospected, but inside of this area is the no rules PvP arena, and if I enter it, I will become attackable after, I think, 30 seconds, which isn't quite enough time to run all the way through there. Yeah, through PvP zone. And I'm just going to go ahead and get out of there before the timeout. But that's what that is. I don't really do PvP. I'm not big into it. But it's there. There is a PvP arena right here in the start world, if that's something that appeals to you. That's why I run around it, because it just doesn't appeal to me. So we'll check in here in a minute. Alright guys, we are going to start with the Sloveni. These guys are relatively easy to deal with a sword. In my opinion, the spell route is harder, but we've already started collecting our items here we need for the crafting quest, which is just going to end up as us betraying Mr. Sturga there. He's got some nefarious intent, and he's using us to carry out his ill-guided plans. So we'll deal with that when the time comes. I'm just going to grind through these, and then we'll head over to the extraction area and do likewise there. Okay guys, that's it for the Sloveni mission. We've gathered the required materials. Our next quest there is to take that back to Sturga. Since we're in the area, we're going to go ahead and hit the multiple prospection zone and go ahead and see if we can't gather the materials that Miles has sent us after. Now you may remember, once upon a time we were over here collecting bones because the Mixie bark is in this area. And so are a shload of jabbing. But this is where these three sets of materials lie, and we have little choice but to deal with the jabbings in the area and get in on the materials. So I'm going to be doing a bit of fighting, a bit of prospecting, a bit of foraging, and a bit of getting disarmed, as tends to happen. So we're going to get on with that. And we'll see what happens once we finished up here, if I don't die in the process. Well, that was unfortunate. Last time I did that quest, it was not quite so difficult, and I think I know where I went wrong. All the same, there are several players on, they've been going on in chat, so I'm going to see if somebody is willing to come give me a quick res. Oh dear God, there's somebody answering me, but they're doing it in French, and I can't read French. Or rather, I don't know what it means. It's on. Pretty sure she's saying she'll come do it. All I can see is res and a smiley face, so hopefully that means somebody is going to come to my rescue rather gallantly. Okay, we got a team invite. Thank God. I am not at all fluent in French, so let's see if she's close enough to make it. Oh yeah, she'll make it. She's right there. She's only 150 meters away. Assuming it's a her. I'm not at all sure. But she is headed my way. I've got a minute left on the timer, so it looks like I'm not going to have to pay the death penalty this time. I owe a debt of gratitude to Letici. Oh, that is amazing. I'm going to bow and say thank you. Oh, wow. This is clearly an alt for somebody on the mainland. Because... yeah. She is just slamming me with spells, completely restoring all of my needs and wants. Alrighty, well, we've left the team. We're going to head back to what we were doing here and see what we can't accomplish. Again, this is the multiple prospection zone. I was right in the middle of it. There were some jabbings coming about, so what I'm going to do is step around the side here because there are fewer that spawn over here. We're within 20 meters of where we need to be, so hopefully this will work out in our favor. I really wish I knew what they were saying. I wonder if, like, I could set up a translator to run in my chat. I suppose, I guess, once I get dual screens set up, I can just run a wheelbarrow zone next door with Battlefish or something. And, okay, we need to edit this because it's currently looking for fine materials only. And we're not looking for fine materials anymore because the tutorial likes to screw with you. I now only need 15 points, so looks like 20 is what we're stuck with. Oh, that's neat. I wish you could choose that icon. You can't pick it, but like it would be neat if when you went to edit it, you could select one of the icons for the components that make up the action. As it stands, it just kind of picks whatever I think the highest quality one you have attached to the action is. That's okay. We found some goulash oil. That is one of the things we needed. Did I edit that? Or am I getting a quality? Yep, I got 10. Okay, so that's 19. I have to obtain 3 of each of these of at least quality 19. I got 1 of quality 20 there. So we're just going to grind on with that. And I'm going to mark this in my map because these are mats I might actually use. Besides, it's just good practice. This is oils. The maximum quality of the source is 25, so in this case Q25. Goulash. Alright, hopefully you guys enjoyed watching me do some Indiana Jonesing there and running like a little scared bitch because those jabbing were just mobbing me left and right here and there. And I got away from them several times, had to fight a couple, but we got what we needed. You know, this is why I've been putting off the foraging aspect. It's really, really grindy. Like, I just got a ton of buo fiber I didn't need and took forever just to find those 3 basic big shell. So that's something I try not to do. I do like to do crafting. I like to craft my own gear and stuff rather than buy it because it's god awful expensive. But I tend to craft from quartered mob parts rather than from harvested materials just because I'm going to fight anyways. It's what I do. I'm a fighter. I'm a Pyros. And it's just more beneficial overall for me to fight and gain materials than it is to have to run around like a little bitch. So we're going to head back. We're going to turn this stuff in. I'll see you back when we've reached Miss Miles. Alright, we've managed to make our way back to camp, so we're going to go ahead and turn this into her and pick up our next quest. And then we're going to go have a word with Mr. Sturga and see what he wanted all those plant pieces for. That was a little odd. She said, great, you can have the samples you collected. She doesn't really need them. Shattered ruins. Set off on a treasure hunt. Tell you what, we'll accept it. We've pretty well burned up all the other quests. But that's that. She's telling us about Ceylon again, where, you know, the Mattis had the plant experiment going, and they were, you know, trying to get the plants to do all the work for them. It went terribly wrong, and then, you know, things were terrible. So she's telling us that, you know, the city was really nice at one time, and they had things going well, and then they got a little too deep into this experiment, and now that they've been driven out, there's all kinds of treasure there. So our next mission here is, of course, to go and see what treasures we can find lying about the ruins, as she is quite certain that there is something there worth us having. Secrets of Ceylon. Okay. So we're going to go over here and have a word with Sturga and see just what it is he needed all these parts of plants for. I think it's a bit strange, but here are your samples. Magnificent. You've been a model disciple throughout. Yada yada yada. These samples are priceless. We could certainly use them to eradicate the scourge we gave birth to, but the Zorai seem to have the situation at hand, and I trust them to deal with it. I have a much better use in mind for these samples. Our people's scientists should be able to get to work again without committing the errors of the past. Oh dear. This scaly bastard is going to take those plant pieces we found and try to do this all over again. Luckily, he thinks I am very loyal to him, and he's giving me the samples back and telling me to deliver them to somebody other than the Zorai. So I now have a choice, moral choice in my quest. I can either deliver the samples to our new Ken, or I can inform Nomus McClow of the Mattis tricks. Now, the Furos are very honor-bound people. They hold honor and your word, your bond, all that sort of lofty stuff. They're a very chivalrous group, and they've also got very close ties to the Zorai. They've become pretty close allies in recent years. So, true to form of my people, I am going to come over here and tell Mr. Nomus just what the hell is going on. Let's see what he has to say about it. Ah! He's praising me for having the wisdom to bring him to him instead of supporting that crazy plan. But he says at the same time he's glad I did it, but there are others who will not make the same choice I did, and I'm sure he's right. But he's going to go on and talk. I guess he's going to go give them a stern talking to. I'm going to give him all this crap, even though I could use it for crafting. I wish I didn't have to give them all to him. But that's that. And he gives me a really decent pair of gloves for the trouble. I'm sure I would have gotten a reward from the other guy as well. Interestingly enough, they're artisan's gloves, so they'll help my crafting rather than magic. Okay. So we got that down pat. Looks like the only things we have left are to go ahead and catch up on these other quests that we're just not quite prepared for yet. But I believe this episode has probably run long enough. I've been recording for quite some time now, and I've got a lot of editing to do, so we'll see what happens. Next time when we come back, you know what? The next time when we come back, we're probably going to take on these extra quests. So there's going to be an episode in between here, probably just a big time lapse where I go grind out some levels and get us to where we need to be. So I will see you guys next time. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching. I certainly have enjoyed recording this. If you liked it, please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment. If you didn't, go find something you enjoy watching and quit wasting time watching my videos. You've got time on your hand, it's limited. Go find something you enjoy. Hopefully you enjoyed my video. But we'll catch you next time. This is The Distinguished Fish.